Hey, Stampers, it's Judy Clock here. It's Sunday night at 7 o'clock, and we're going to get started with secret stamping in just a minute. Of course, as I came down to get ready, my laptop decided it needed to reboot right now, and it is still rebooting and updating software. So there's just going to be one camera tonight. So you're just going to be able to see my desktop this evening. And we're going to give it just a couple of minutes to have some people pop on and join us. In the meantime, we've got our first hint, which is always a list of our supplies that we need. So we needed cardstock that was eight, that should have been 4 1/4. Oh my goodness, by 5 1/2. Oh, sorry about that. Then white cardstock that was 4 by 5 1/4. Designer series paper that was 2 inches by 5 1/2 inches. Another piece of coordinating DSP that was 1/4 of an inch by 5 1/2 inches. A basic white cardstock circle. You could have used a 3-inch circle that was cut with the layering circle dies, or whatever shape that you would like to see on the card front. You needed another scrap of coordinating cardstock for your sentiment, about 3/4 of an inch by 2 1/2 inches, or whatever size you needed to fit your sentiment. A stamp set with some images and sentiments, coordinating inks, coloring tools of your choice if necessary, if your image required some coloring, and then embellishments of choice. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm not going to be able to see who is with us tonight, I don't think. Let me see if I can move this. But if you're here, go ahead and let me know that you're here. I'm going to try to see. It's hard because I've just got the one camera tonight, so it's hard for me to see if anybody is coming on and making comments. So if I don't see you or I don't acknowledge your comment, I apologize. I'm just a little bit handicapped this evening with just having the one camera. All right, so let's go start with our second hint. All right, so you want to stamp your sentiment and or an image, if you're using that, on the large piece of basic white cardstock. That's the piece that's going to go inside your card. So go ahead and do that. And when you're done, hey, Marcia, how are you today? When you're done, go ahead and just say done one so that I know that we can move on. Or sorry, done two. This is done two. So Marcia, I had a typo in my hint number one. The cardstock should have been 4 1/4 by 11, not 8 1/4. I hope everybody realized that it was just going to be a standard A2 card. So again, I apologize for that. All right, so we've got our second hint showing, and again, we're going to stamp a sentiment and or images on that large piece of basic white cardstock that we're then going to put on the inside of our card further down the road. Got a couple more hints to go before we'll actually do that. We're going to do some stamping and get all of that out of the way, and then we can work on adding our other pieces. Let me see if I can go and add the second camera now, because it seems like my camera has finished rebooting. I don't know if it will allow me to join a broadcast in progress now. We'll see. I don't know. It's just so much easier if I can see the comments on the laptop. Okay. But you guys work on hint number two. I'm going to see if I can bring my laptop into the stream. I don't know if I can, but we're going to give it the old college try, as they say. And we'll see. Let's see if I have my new code. 729. Okay. Okay. Oh, maybe I can enter the studio. Let's see. Bear with me for a minute because it might screech just a little bit until I can mute this second mic. So let me mute that. Okay. Let me see if I can. Nope, that didn't work. Oh, okay. Let me leave this one. Okay. All right, we're not going to use that tonight. I couldn't get it set up right, so we're just going to go with this. Okay, so we're done with number 2. Let's move on to number 3. So now we're going to stamp an image or a sentiment on your basic white circle. I would say it's better if you have an image for that circle because we have our little other banner piece for our sentiment. So go ahead and stamp whatever you want to stamp on your basic white circle. And then again, I'm going to put that off to the side until later on down in our hints. But go ahead and get that done and then let me know if you're done when you're done with number 9. I'm sorry, hint number 3. We're not going to use this piece until again hint number 9. I'm all discombobulated tonight. Try to mute. Can you still hear me? And I don't have that terrible echo. So I'm hoping that this is going to work without the terrible, terrible echo. But now I can actually see. Yay! Comments. Great. Perfect. All right. Thanks, Marcia. I appreciate that. All right. So now that I can actually see and comments, it's going to be much easier. Okay. All right. So let me know when you're done with number 3, and we'll move along. And if you're just joining us, what we've done is for hint number 2, we stamped our sentiment and or an image on that large piece of basic white that's going to go into the inside of our card. And then now we're working on hint number 3. And we're decorating that large circle that we had. All right. Can't believe it's Sunday night already. Good grief, and it's the end of August. Time is just flying by. And now we're going to hit the Burr months, and that's when really the year really just seems to go into warp speed and go fast. All right, don't forget, let me know when you're done with hint 3. And we'll move on. All right, let's go on. Here we go for hint number 4. Now, if you need to, you can go ahead and color your images from hints 2 and 3 with your coloring tools. If you don't need to do that, we can just go on. So just let me know. It's fine. Some of my images I needed to color a little tiny bit, and some of them I didn't. I only did two examples for tonight. It's a little bit chilly down in my basement today. I only Emma, my German Shepherd, who's down here with me tonight. Everybody else is upstairs. But they might make it down. Who knows? All right, let me know when you're done with 4. If you're coloring, if not, just let me know and we can move on. Okay. This one's fairly easy tonight. It's not too crazy. I try to not make them too hard because I know sometimes when you're doing it at home, it's a little bit more difficult. So we try to keep these just a little bit easier. But we have so many beautiful designer series papers that they really can carry the whole card almost because they're just so pretty. Everybody working on their Halloween cards and Thanksgiving cards and Christmas cards. Going to do a big like Stamp-A-Stack in October. So for anybody in the Frederick County, Virginia area, I'm going to be advertising that soon. You can come make like 20 cards for the day. I have like 10 different designs, and you can come and make like 2 of each design. So hopefully you'll leave here with a nice big stack of Christmas cards. All right, moving on. I'm going to go on to hint number 5. All right. So now we're going to stamp our sentiment on that small piece of basic white cardstock. Then we're going to put that off to the side until hint number 10. So again, let me know when you're done with hint 5. Because it shouldn't take that long to stamp. So I was playing with the new Charming Sentiments set, which is, it's just all words, all sentiments, and it's got the die cuts that will match it and will cut it out. Like, so for like the wishing you the happiest of birthdays, it will cut out like around the P's and the Y's. It is such a nice set. One of my team members made a card with it. I'm like, oh, that's great. I have to get that. So, and I'm glad I did, because it's pretty. I like that. Because sometimes I want to cut the words out, but I don't know. I'm not really good at fussy cutting. So when I saw this, I'm like, oh, that's perfect. All right. So let me know if you're done with 5, and we can kind of rock and roll on to our next hint. And again, if you get lost, just go off and do your own thing. Just create something beautiful, because no matter what you do, I'm sure it will be beautiful. So, all right. We're just going to give it like another minute for hint number 5. And then we'll kind of roll on along and get on to our next hints. I try to keep them to around like 11 or 12 hints. So it's not a long, drawn out process. I mean, some of these could probably combine into like the same hint, but I like to space them out a little bit. So just to kind of keep it interesting. Okay. We're starting to see dones. All right. Let's go on to hint number 6. Okay. So now we want to take that large piece of basic white from hint 2, and we're going to put that on the inside of our card. Okay. I can wait, Marcia. Do you want me to go back to a hint? I can back up if I need to. Okay, you're finishing number 5. All right. That's good. All right, move that. All right. Okay. Let me know when you're done with number 6. We'll keep on rolling along. Okay. Got to try to keep up the chatter. Dead air time is never good. So, God, I wonder where everybody else is this evening. All right, number 7. So now you want to take that 2-inch by 5.5-inch piece of designer series paper, and you want to place it on the left side of the card front, making sure the left top and bottom edges are even. So that piece of designer series paper should be the same length as your card. We're just going to put that right on our card front. Okay, there's so many pretty designer series papers out right now. Sometimes it's hard to choose which one to use and what sides to use. I love a lot of the paper that we got during Celebration too, and that's only going to be around until August 31st. So if there's something that you wanted from Celebration, you only have a few more days to get it. Okay, let's move on to hint number 8. So now you've got that skinny piece of designer series paper. It's 1/4 of an inch by 5.5, and we're going to put this right along the right edge of that larger piece of designer series paper. So the two edges are just going to butt up right against each other. So no gaps. Just go ahead and put that right next to that other piece of designer series paper that's on your card front. Now, because this is so thin, like I put mine on with liquid glue, just a couple of little liquid glue dots, because it was really too skinny for a Stampin' Seal. Maybe it might be okay for tear and tape, but I just used like 5 or 6 little tiny dots of that Tombow glue, or green glue as some people call it, and use that, and that will work just fine. So it's really just to kind of just give a little accent to that piece of designer series, the larger piece of designer series paper. It just kind of gives it like a different edge look, and it just makes it look it makes it pop almost. So. Okay. So let me know when everybody's done with hint 8. And if you are watching this on the replay, go ahead and let me know where you're tuning in from. I always like to see where everybody comes from, because we are a community of stampers literally across the globe, around the globe. So it's kind of fun to see where everybody is. So, and again, like I said, I'm working with Stampin' Up! Demonstrators from Australia and the United Kingdom, not United Kingdom, sorry, Canada. And we're going to plan like a international stamp camp or stamp extravaganza or something along those lines in late January, early February of 2023. So we're in the process of kind of like finalizing it and seeing what we're going to offer, but it'll probably be about maybe 12 to 15 different projects from all of the different demos that are working in it. Okay, so now let's go on to hint number 9. So now we're going to take that basic white circle from hint number 3, and we're going to add it to our card front using Stamping Dimensionals. Now you can place it wherever you want. I kind of place mine a little bit closer to the top, but if you want to place it in the center or towards the bottom, that's your choice. Just remember to leave space for the sentiment kind of underneath at the bottom of the circle. So if you place it closer to the bottom of your card, then just make sure that you've got some room for your sentiment. Then starting in October, I'm also going to be doing an international blog hop with a group of Stampin' Up! Demonstrators that I've met through like this coaching group that we do, this training group. So we're all going to start doing that. We've already collaborated on some tutorials for our customers. And if you're on my mailing list, my email on Friday, I gave you like 3 of my favorite tutorials from the most recent, we call it the Sweethearts International tutorial. So there were like 3 that were really pretty in there. So I kind of put those in my newsletter and mailed those out. So hopefully everybody likes what they're seeing with the international tutorial. It's so fun to see what everybody comes up with, because some of us even use like the same stamp sets and our designs are completely different. So I always think it's so amazing that you can give people the exact same supplies and you're just going to get such unique and creative takes on everything. It's pretty fun. All right. So let me know when you're, like I said, when you're done with number 9, get those circles on your card front using the dimensionals. I love to pop things up with dimensionals. I think it just makes it look fun. So I was pretty excited about this design today. I think it's one of my favorites. Well, maybe not one of my favorites, but I think it's a fun little design. Maybe because of the stamp set I used. I did the Bewitching stamp set from one of the demo cards, and I think that's just such a fun set. I love that witch's hat. I don't know why. Okay, so we're done with number 9. Let's move on to number 10. So now we want to add the sentiment from number 5 to the card front, and we're going to place it so that the top of the sentiment kind of overlaps the bottom of the circle. So you're going to need to use Stampin' Dimensionals on each end, and then either like a glue dot or a little bit of Stampin' Seal where the label's going to touch that basic white circle. And that's just to kind of, keep it from moving around too much. But I mean, it's not necessary. If you just put the dimensionals on each end, that should be fine. Just go ahead and add your sentiment on there. Kind of put this up there so everybody can see. Okay. I got to do a better job of getting my phone stand to be straight. I don't know how to do that sometimes. I'm trying. So much to learn. I kind of had a minor catastrophe this week with my website, and that took me a couple of days to get figured out, but we figured it out. So even though the week kind of started out a little shaky, it ended on a pretty good note. So that was good. So all is well that ended well. I was able to recover it, and I only lost about 2 days worth of work versus 2 years worth of work. So I was a happy girl by the end of the week. And then I was kind of able to go and get all that stuff that I had put on there back in there. So I'm kind of caught up to where I was. I haven't made any forward progress, but at least I'm back to where I was. So that's always good. Yeah, I was really almost in tears. All right, so now for number 11, we are just going to add any embellishments as you like. And then if you're ready, I can show you my sample cards. So this was using the Bewitching bundle. And this is our new washi tape. Isn't that fun? So this was that, it's just called Black and White paper. It was in the mini album, like kind of where the Halloween sets were. So this was like black and white stripe. And I just added the washi tape over there where the white stripes were. And then I put a little bit of the black washi tape on some white cardstock, and I punched out a witch's band so I could put that on the witch's hat. And then on the inside, I love this little spider. I just love him. And then I put the little hat down there. So that was one. And then I did another one. And this was where I used those charming sentiments. Isn't that pretty how it cuts it out just like that? And did you know that if you have clear embossing powder, because this is heat embossed, I don't know if you can see it, but I heat embossed that. If you have clear embossing powder, you can heat emboss in any color. So what you do is you need your Stamparatus, but you stamp the sentiment in the color first. So I stamped this in Rich Razzleberry first, and then I went over it with Versamark. And then I just put the clear embossing powder on top of the Versamark. And when I heat embossed it, it brings out the Rich Razzleberry. So if you ever want to emboss and you don't want to just do like black, white, or the metallics like copper, gold, silver, if you have the clear embossing powder, you can really emboss in any color that you want. All right, folks, that is it for this edition of Sunday Secret Stamping. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had fun. I can't wait to see what you've made. Make sure to post a picture of your card on my Stampin' with Crafty Clock Facebook page. Have a great week, everybody. I'll see you next weekend. Bye.